Hello, boys and girls. It's time for another Tapes Cancer Report. Well, it's starting to get real. Tomorrow is my scheduled simulation, which is the preparatory work before the radiation, and I'll give you a summary of that kind of after we have our picture show. I thought I'd just, some of you have seen these pictures, and some of you are latecomers to our channel. Make sure you subscribe and click. No. That's a great question. Okay. Moving right along. So this was when I probably the first day that I went up to Orlando Health, having just had the CAT scan done. So go up there and have them take a look and so forth. And this is my rock and support Ronnie, looking lovely in the waiting room. This is me being told how the swallowing mechanism works and getting some exercise lessons. My cancer is right back here in the base of the tongue, is what I'm told. This is your airway, and this is your esophagus. And this is if you have a tracheotomy or something, which I had as a kid many years ago when I was 11 months old, but that's old news. This is just some swollen cheeks after my original biopsy surgery, and this was the medication that I was using at the time. Hydrocodone, amoxicillin, and all that crap. Liquid hydrocodone, because I couldn't eat at that time after that first surgery, so all the amoxicillin and the hydrocodone were all in liquid form. So that was interesting. This is just last week with COVID in place up at the hospital. This is the waiting room. It's actually much larger than it shows here, but it's a big open room where typically I'll wait. This is the where I got my PET scan. I've explained to you that this is a separate, they have a separate cancer center plus head and neck surgery unit, so that's a placard for that. These are the 4 teeth that I had removed, so my mouth is pretty empty down here. So in my front bottoms here, these are missing now. So this is empty space. I can't chew in the back, so I have to learn a new way to chew. But anyway, this seems to have healed up nicely. This is just a view of the building while my face is all swollen from one of the surgeries and so forth. Exercise is an important part of my therapy, so my friend and photographer Mark Smith had recently gotten one of these bikes, and I realized this is an electric bike. I, like many people, probably thought an electric bike is you hop on it, it's like a scooter, and it's electric, and that's what you do. But as you can see here, it's got gears and so forth. So the way this bike works, and it's perfect for my exercise routine, because I never exercise. I hate exercise. I don't like going to the gym. I don't like seeing other naked men. Just all kinds of reasons that I don't exercise. But mainly, I'm just not an exercise guy. Maybe I'm lazy. Who knows? But this bike, highly recommended. And like I say, my friend Mark had gotten one. The thing about it is you can drive it as a regular bike, just with no power or anything. You can ride it on full power, no pedaling, or anything in between. So what I do is I pedal with a slight amount of power assist. So if I face into a headwind, I just hit a button and the motor just helps a little bit. So it's still full exercise. The other thing I was afraid of is in terms of biking, especially in the Florida heat that's coming, is given the weakness I'm going to feel, I could bike out and not have the strength to get home. So this gives me the ability to just power on home. So the reason I'm going into this is I think this is a great thing for, as many of the people watching this are getting elderly, an amazing way to get exercise and feel safe about being able to get back and not having to pedal so hard. I could go into it later. Anyway, I'll put a link in the YouTube video. Then just to continue our picture show, this is from the original CAT scan, and I believe I have, where did I lose that to? Maybe it's here. Okay, so this is from the CAT scan. I don't know how to read these or what they mean. I assume this big mass here was the original growth that they pulled out, and you can see why it would have been hurting my swallowing. But in truth, I don't really know. This was done with contrast and without, and I don't know what these pictures mean, but in case any of you do, I just thought I would show it for shits and grins and what have you. So let's move on to simulation. So let me go back to this picture. Oh, and actually, I have to get another picture, so give me a second. I'm going to stop the video and I'll come right back. So the whole point is this radiation obviously has to be targeted, hit the microphone, very precisely to where it is. It modulates in terms of intensity, how strong the beam is. It's three-dimensional, so it can come from any angle. So it's a machine. I haven't seen the machine, but the radiation machine also has the ability to sort of take a CAT scan. So what the simulation is, they lie me down, and they're going to build a mask like this. This is a plastic mesh, and they form it to my body so that it sort of locks me down to the table so that my head can't move. I mean, this is all, what I read. This is what I'm going to experience tomorrow during the simulation. So they'll make this mask. They'll actually tattoo one or more spots on my skin, just a little dot. They say it'll look like a freckle. And what they do is they take a CAT scan while I'm in that position, and because the CAT scan machine and the radiation machine all have the same dynamics, I don't know if it's going to be the same machine or a different machine or whatever, but by taking the CAT scan with me in exact position, they can see all my organs and so forth, so the radiologists work out how they're going to program the x-rays to hit what spots and so forth. So simulation is a day where I go in there, they build the mask, they position me into what's hopefully going to be comfortable, they take pictures, they do all kinds of things so that they're sure that when I come in for radiation every day, that my head is positioned precisely and that the x-ray beam knows where to go. My beam presumably is going to be coming up, sort of in this angle to the back to the base of my tongue through here, and you can see why they'd want to get rid of those teeth that they did as well. So I'm going to, anyway, that's what's happening tomorrow, and that's exciting. After that, it takes about a week or 10 days for them to actually program the radiation. The team meets, lots of people look at it, there's lots of people involved, and then I come back for a sort of a dry run where they make sure that everything aligns and looks good and so forth, and then the next day I start radiation. So my presumption is that we're going to do the simulation tomorrow, and I would assume 2 weeks from then. So tomorrow is the 13th, so towards the end of April is when I would actually start the radiation, and that would be 5 days a week, as we've discussed, and one of those days would be radiation plus chemo. So I'm going to put a link to a document that describes the whole process of what I'm going through, and simulation is part of it. This is part of that document. It's made by Sloan Kettering, the document, and it's just a good overview of my situation. So, I'm getting concerned. This is getting very real. I certainly have the understanding that this is, hitting the third and fourth week when I'm going to have sores in my mouth and sunburns in my mouth. I mean, this isn't going to be pleasant to say the least, but anyway, I'm glad that we're getting it going, and I'll just leave it at that, and I'll give you a report after I come back from the simulation tomorrow. So thanks for watching from here in Melbourne. My lovely wife and myself wish you all safe, stay locked in, don't touch your face, all the crap you're watching, and hopefully we'll all get through this. And God bless those who are having even harder problems than me with this COVID thing, and a lot of tragedy going on, and my expectation is that I'm going to get through this just fine. So bye-bye. This thing I hope is gone by now. I'm trying to get copies of my PET scan and barium swallow test and all that, so I'll share those with you when and if I can. So be safe, everyone, and thanks for your support. It's very meaningful to me. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.